again, thanks for coming. You know, sometimes I wonder how it's going to go after we don't went on the road the night or the day before we meet. It's a lot easier when we win, obviously. But I just appreciate you guys coming. You know, this is the last meeting this spring. And May is always so busy with, there's just a lot going on right now. Obviously, we're right in the middle of trying to win the Western Division and, you know, graduate our students, our student athletes. We've got, you know, like, we're in finals right now. Giving them a full day off today with a little voluntary weightlifting here, like now. They should be there voluntarily. And then as far as baseball-wise, you know, they're off. And tomorrow will be, it'll be a voluntary practice. It'll be a set time, and if they don't come, we don't get upset. They've got finals. You know, they want to be out there. They're not in class, but they have a test during, you know, the window we've allotted. You know, we'll work with them, whether it's throwing, hitting, whatever is going on there. And then on Wednesday we'll have a full team practice, and we haven't even set a time for that yet due to just looking at everybody's test schedule time. So that's kind of what we'll do. Thursday regular practice, and then obviously on Friday we'll get after Texas A&M. You know, list a little bit about Texas A&M before we get rolling. Probably the best pitching staff, top to bottom in the Western Division for sure. If you look at the numbers, some really good arms there. And most of their kids come out of the Houston area. Just about their whole roster, except for a couple, are from in-state. You know, their two assistant coaches both played for me at Nebraska, and then their head coach was one of my best friends that coached with me for 11, 12 years at a couple different places. So a lot of ties there. We recruit against each other heavy, but we don't get upset with each other. We get it. We're just trying to win, and we're not saying bad things about each other. At least that we tell the kids not to let them know that we did. You know, they're a really good team. They beat Florida yesterday. Florida beat them twice, and then they got Florida yesterday. They played a really good game. And they have three solid pitchers and a couple of really good relievers. So it'll be another major challenge. I think in the preseason poll, they were preseason top 20 team, and they also, I think they were picked to finish second in the West. And you know, they're like all of us. They're scrambling. They're having a good weekend here, holding on there, and trying to win one there. It's a pretty balanced league if you look at the standings. So since we met last time, we played 20 games, and it feels like it. Honestly, we played 20 games. You know, I think the day after we met, we played Monroe a couple of times, and we had to scramble and win that first game 10-9. Then we shut them out the next day, and then Auburn came to town, and you know, we had Casey Mize on our mind, and you know, he hadn't lost, and his numbers are incredible, and we beat him 2-1. And what I remember about that game is not only how great of a game it was, but the play that Dominic Fletcher made in the 8th inning when they had 2 on, 2 out, and the ball left the bat, and in my mind I said, we're down the run. And next thing you know, Dominic Fletcher came out of nowhere, made a diving catch, and the inning was over, and then we got him out in the 9th and went on to win that game. I think that kind of messed with them a little bit mentally, that we had just beat their guy, and we got after him pretty good the next day. And then the last game of the series, we beat him 5-4. Pretty good sweep there, because since then they've scrambled and got it going again, and Mize hasn't lost since, and will probably be the pitcher of the year in our league and win many national awards. Played Grambling and Little Rock. Wow, was that fun. You know, we didn't do a whole lot, and next thing you know, we're down 3 runs with 6 outs to go, and thank goodness we kicked it into gear, got a couple of big hits, and came back and won that thing 7-6 and got out of there. Crowd was incredible. It was loud. It was full. It was a really good atmosphere. It was actually a good night, temperature-wise, and you know, it ended up being a pretty good neutral site win for us. South Carolina, we won 2 out of 3, but we lost the Friday game, and it's one of the first ones we had lost. Lane Knight didn't get a decision. We lost 3-2. And then we moved up the Sunday game to Saturday and played, I think, or maybe we didn't play Saturday, played 2 Sundays, what it was. I think there was a tornado that day, go down south a little bit, and pretty scary atmosphere going on. And then we played 2 7-inning games, and our pitchers did an outstanding job. We shut them out twice, 2-0, 3-0. Carson Shetty put on a show that day with his bat, and you know, we got out of there with the series win. And then Missouri State came to town. You never know how that's going to go. You know, they jumped on us pretty good early. It didn't look real good, and then here we came. Because we can swing a little bit, we get going. Sometimes it's contagious, and we ended up winning that game 11-7 after being down like 5-1 or whatever it was. And that was a good midweek win for us. And Mississippi State. And then we played Texas Tech. So we went to Mississippi State. Everybody thought, oh, they're the worst team in the league. They're no good. And we knew different. And they kind of pulled on us what we did to Kentucky a little bit. You know, we let a lead slip away on Friday. We went to Cronin, and we needed 10 outs to go. He got that first out, got us out of a big jam. Because we felt like that might be the game. And then he had a really good 7th inning. And then in the 8th, he just kind of lost it. Well, little did we know at the time, we knew that his throat was bothering him, but we didn't know he had mono. And I think that was a little bit of the problem. It's kind of tough to go very far when you have no energy. But you know, that game got away. We lost 6-5. He had to come out and play a doubleheader the next day. It's Super Bulldog weekend, and it was packed, and you know, it just didn't go good. I mean, we lost 5-3 and 7-5. Had a chance to, you know, we left 23 runners on base that day, or that weekend. So it was kind of discouraging. What do you say? You know, you can start pointing fingers, but really it's just everybody needs to look in the mirror and figure it out, including myself. We just didn't get big hits. And we set up many an inning. There they are. Now somebody come through, and honestly, Mississippi State made 2 or 3 really good plays in the field. Diving catch here, backhand there, whatever. And we line out. It's just kind of the way the game works a little bit. So left there and not a real good mood, but hanging in there. Came back and played Texas Tech on Tuesday. You know, it looked like the first inning it was going to be rough because they had the bases loaded 1 out. And we got out of that thing, and then you know, we ended up winning that game 5-1. And Barilowski had a coming out party, and that was probably the best thing that we needed because we had a stick pitcher, we had some guys that weren't doing real well, and this was a guy that we needed, and he just did a tremendous job there, and that ended up being a really big win for us. And you know, on the national stage, people that are supposed to be in the know, that know everything, and tell everybody who's supposed to be where. That was a good win because Texas Tech's a really good team. Ever since that game, they've struggled a little bit. They went and lost to 2 at TCU, who wasn't even 500 at the time, that's having a down year. And TCU's a team that I think, if you remember right, they're ranked in the top 5, and they're under 500. Now they've picked it up a little bit, but Texas Tech lost 2 games there, and then I saw where Texas went into Lubbock and beat them 2 out of 3 this weekend. So they've fallen down just a little bit, but you know, I'm sure they'll be back. And then the Alabama series, again, another trap series for us. And we talked about the Mississippi State series with the players as much as we could. Don't let it happen again, and everybody's good, and you know, they're fighting for their lives and all that stuff. And you know, we played 3 fairly close games, 7-3, 7-4, and then that beautifully played game on Sunday where we gave up 5 runs in 1 inning and they didn't get a hit. It's pretty amazing. It's hard to do, and especially at this level. I don't know how many walks were in that inning. All I know is Norman Bryan called me after the game and said, "Thanks, you now have the walk record at the University of Arkansas." So I looked it up, and they walked 14 against Oklahoma State back in 1989 or somewhere. And the crazy thing was they won as well, which is amazing. How do you walk 14 or 15 a game and win? It's unheard of. So in about 15 years, I'm going to call the next guy when they walk 16. So, you know, we survived that series, and then obviously LSU on the road. We just didn't play very good, I'll be honest with you. I mean, what do you say? It was pretty vanilla. Didn't get some big hits, set up a lot of innings on Saturday. After winning the game on Friday that we won. We didn't play real good. We finally got some big hits with 2 outs. We got 3 or 4 in a row. McFarland made a base run mistake. We might have scored a few more runs. I mean, Saturday, you know, we get beat. Team's ready to roll. I really don't know what happened, to be honest with you. We just didn't hit. You got one of your top hitters comes up with runs second, third, bases loaded. You know, we got the bases loaded 1 out, we got base loaded no outs. I think in those 2 times we scored 1 run. Hit into a double play, struck out a couple of times, you know. Freshman had about as bad a day you can have to play after having a really good year. And he bounced back yesterday, had a good game. You know, yesterday's game, kind of the same thing. We knew the guy was a strike thrower. He only walked 6 on the year. We've looked at all of his stuff. He only had like a 2-0 count like 5 times on the year. So we knew that he was going to throw it over the plate. Sinking it, doing all kinds of things. It really is frustrating because we offered that kid a scholarship too. And you know, you really want to beat that guy because he chose a different school. And you know, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll face him again down the road. And you know, again, they're giving it everything they got because they know their back's up against the walls. Their park. And you know, our park is ranked #1 in the country. I don't think there is a #2. I don't like it. So, you know, I'm not in love with it. I think there's some other parks that are a lot prettier, but they play awfully well there. You got to give them credit. And, you know, we have not played well there. So, I think, what do we go? 14-6. And usually at this time of the year, when you're in conference play and who we have, probably been happy with that. But, you know, it's like this reporter, they send some guy to come talk to me after the game that doesn't know me. And he comes up and I got John standing there making sure I don't say the wrong thing because I'm not very happy. And he says to me, well, you just seem really irritated. That's like the first thing he says to me. So, and I said, yeah, I don't like to lose. What's your question? And that's what we have to deal with sometimes. But anyway, I won't get into that. You know, just kind of going through what we do. Defensively, you know, people said, oh, your defense isn't very good. We'll go 7 games without making an error. We'll make 3 in 1 inning or 2 on 1 play. Defensively, since last time, we've raised our fielding percentage a lot. I think last time we were fielding 970 overall. Now we're fielding 973 overall, but in conference play, we're fielding 975, which is in the middle of the pack, maybe even better. I'm not sure there, but, you know, it's kind of, you know, we made a couple errors on the mound the other day. It was really wet. I don't know what was going on at 9 p.m. at night, but in front of the pitcher's mound and to the sides, it was almost like they just watered the field. And, you know, we throw the ground ball back to the mound, he throws it, it just slipped out of his hand. So after, you know, the bunt. And then the other one, Rhino planted his feet and slipped. And, you know, went from being 1 down to 3 down or whatever. And it changed the whole game. But, you know, it was the same for them. I was trying to get to a situation where we might be able to bunt, put that ball in that stuff. But, you know, the lead, it just didn't happen. First base, kind of going through the position, first base, it hasn't been good. Defensively, it hasn't been good. Offensively, it hasn't been good. Production is not good there. I've had people ask me, why didn't you play so-and-so there? Well, he's the worst fielder of the 3. So, you know, you may see a change there this weekend. And it might be just, I might put another shortstop there. So we'll figure it out. Second base has been outstanding between Shaddy and Martin. Shaddy was hurt, been playing great defense. Martin turned some nice double plays, played really well. Jack Spiggers, made 7 errors all year. He's been pretty good. That's a tough position. If you bobble the ball, they're safe, you get an error. If you knock it down, they're safe, you get an error. Second, you have a little more time. Third's the same way as well. Third base has been pretty solid. Martin's been pretty good. Kelly booted the ball the other day. It was actually scored a hit. There were 2 strikes on the hitter. It's the big kid. He was hitting leadoff, I think. We were pretty much playing in the left field. And he charged it. Even if you feel that ball, I don't even know if he would have thrown him out. Took a little hop at the end and hit him in the forearm. But, The left side and second base done a good job. First base, not good, obviously. The outfield has been solid all year. Pretty much played the same three guys out there. Bonfield's played a little bit out there. And then I think Cook's done a good job of catching. Opens hasn't played a whole lot. He's done a good job when he has played, and you know, his time's coming in the future. Cook's a good receiver, a good blocker. Most of the time, if you give him a chance to throw him out, he does. And I think he's frustrated with his throwing, but you know, he's been solid there. As far as the offense, you know, our batting average, and you know, I think as a team, when we were in here last time for all the games, like 312, 13, was still 306. The amazing stat is 312 in SEC play, and we're facing really good pitching every weekend, just about every pitch. So the hitters have stepped it up for the most part, but we've had some games when they can't get us out. We've had some games when it doesn't look very good. Credit the other teams pitching a little bit, or maybe the luck of the game, hitting balls at people. You know, just think about the game yesterday. Our first two hitters of the game off that freshman squared up those balls really good. You're thinking, wow, okay, here we go. You know, line drive to center, like, you know, Cole, there's another line drive. And then it fell off for a few innings, and then Martin lines out to left, Martin lines out to short, he lines out to center. Sometimes it's just the way it goes. It's just baseball. But, you know, just real quickly, Cole, steady Eddie, what a year he's had. Martin's had a really good year for a freshman. It's hard to ask for more. Shetty's had a tremendous year. Kerstad has had a really, really good year. You know, he's up to 10 home runs now. Got 42 or 3 RBIs. I wish he had 46 or 7. We probably would have won Saturday. You know, Bonnie's been up and down, but he's been a tough out. He has some really good games. He has some really good at bats. RBI production should be better. Jack Spiggers is the one who's really struggled. I mean, he hit 330 last year. This year he's, I don't know what he's hitting, 275. I'm not 100% sure. We could sure use him getting hot down the stretch. Grant's about the same. If you look at the batting average, maybe not quite as many homers. He has hit the ball a lot better lately. He hasn't had a lot to show for it. Even the home run he hit was a good 15-foot fair, and they tried to call a foul. And I'll be honest with you, they didn't see that ball on replay. That home plate umpire saw fair. The third base umpire called a foul. I think the home plate umpire, he thought it was fair, because I could tell by the look on his face. When I said, you got to look at that, that wasn't even close. There was a high sky over there, kind of set. You couldn't really see the ball real good. So it was a tough call for the umpire, but they didn't make the right call. The ball was easily fair. Fletcher, you know, he hit 400 in April after hitting about $150 before that. He's getting there. Got a little bull happy yesterday. Had a great game on Saturday. Friday, nice game. The issue's been first base production. McFarland and Gates, I mean, there hasn't been any. I mean, you look at it in conference play, between the two, 4 RBIs, 5 RBIs. You know, when you add up their bats comboed at 130, whatever it's been in there, that's not good enough. And they know it. And then you have Kinley, hadn't played a whole lot, pretty good player, had some good bats. And then Evan Lee, who has been a good player off the bench, trying to start him. You know, people put him in the field goal. You tell me where, and I'll put him there. And we worked it all fall. We worked on last year. Good hitter, good approach. How many DHs can you have? You can have 1. I tell that to the 6-year-olds you can. Find a position and get good at it. And then if you're good at 2 or 3, that's even better, because there's only 1 DH. And but I like Evan at the plate. It's hard to have both of those guys in the line at the same time. You're talking about Luke and Evan, and believe me, it keeps me up at night thinking about trying to figure it out. Pitching, you know, I'll just go through a few guys. You know, Knight's been steady Eddie. He hadn't been lights out, but he gives us a chance to do it every time out. He holds people down, even when he doesn't have his best game or stuff. Murphy's been good, but they rubbed him up hard that first inning Saturday. It looked like it was going to be a long, ugly night. And then he scrambled. He got out of it. He gave us a chance to win. And if he doesn't throw that ball, that slick ball away, we might have won it. You know, he got us in the 6th, 7th inning. Campbell, 3.5 innings, pretty good yesterday, and then, you know, a couple of 9-hole hitter, 8-hole hitter gets another hit, bang, they're off to the races, and he's out of the game. Stuff's pretty good when it's on, downhill. But LSU did a pretty good job with him after they saw him, after they went through the lineup one time. Lowski really good, just really stepping up. I think, you know, he's really a go-to guy. Rindle the same way. He can fool you a little bit, then he can throw the fastball by you and get you a swing at that breaking ball. It's been good with his experience out there. You know, Lee was really good last weekend. Yesterday wasn't great. You know, Ramage didn't throw this past weekend. Bolden's a young guy that can give us a little bit. And then Cronin, who, you know, has missed 7 games. And, you know, we were talking about it. You know, you try to find the positive. At least some people do. I'll leave it at that. And then, I mean, we were 5-2 since he's been out. We feel like if we would have had him Friday or Saturday, looking back, it might have helped us win a game, save some pitches so we could pitch him the next day. But we didn't. And, you know, speaking of Cronin, probably won't have him again until I think the first day he might be eligible to pitch is Sunday. And then, you know, how strong is he? Can he give you an inning? Can he give you a hitter? You know, he's been working to keep his weight. That's kind of his situation. You know, just this week's schedule, kind of went through it with the players, with all the finals, the voluntary type practices, the real practices. Sometimes this can be good. They rest their bodies, get away from the game for a day or two. They're more excited to play. You know, these guys, there's a lot of ask of baseball player. You know, a lot of everybody that's in the athletic program, there's a lot of ask of you're trying to do everything. You know, you do well in the classroom and play well. And sometimes you know, you might look like hey, they're into it. Well, after this week's over, they should look like they're into it every pitch, every game, and they should be ready to go because that's really what they need to focus on once they get through these finals. And sometimes it can be the best time of the year for coaches because you can tell we have their full attention. Obviously, we have 6 games left. Both teams are ranked. As usual, what's new, right? Everybody we play is ranked. So, for the most part, A&M at home, I went over them a little bit. They're a very good team. You know, last year we went down there at the end of the last series and we beat them 2 out of 3. And then they went to the Houston regional and won it. And then somebody lost somewhere and then they got the host of Super. And they got the upset team, who was that, Davidson or somebody? And then they're in the World Series. And that's kind of the way it works sometimes. You know, they have pretty much their whole team back that they had last year. So it's going to be a tough series for us and we need to play really well. And then we'll leave next Wednesday to head to Georgia because that last series is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we won't come back. You know, we'll head to the SEC tournament. As far as I know, we'll be heading to the SEC tournament. I've looked at all what we have to do, but so once we leave on Wednesday, we'll be gone for a while. So hopefully, when that's over, we'll be coming back and get to playing Ball Stadium again. And that's our goal, whether we're a top 8 seed or 16. You know, obviously we want to be a top 8. We don't talk to the players about it. We don't want to give them any added stress or anything to think about. They get it. They're smart. They understand. And but we just hope we get to play, you know, back here again. You know, we played well here. We scored runs here. Fans have been awesome. The weather hadn't been great. It was last weekend, and the weather's supposed to be great again this week. So that's 2 out of how many weekends we can have. So, you know, we're excited about what's going on. We're not trying to, you know, say, what if we do this, or if we do this, and they do that, we'll be there. We just got to play. You start worrying about everything, it's hard to stay focused. So that's what we're telling the players, you know, just play. Don't worry about tomorrow. Let's just get through today. And control what we can control. That's about it. So, baseball lingo, I got a few, but I don't have anything to give away. You give it away. So, does anybody, what would a goose egg be? Baseball lingo. Let's spit it out. That's a big 0 on the scoreboard. That's a pretty simple one. How about a gopher ball?
Going to hit for a home run.
Same guy's going to yell at every time. That everybody knows that guy. A gopher ball is you know, the announcer might say he gives up a lot of gopher balls. It means he gives up a lot of home runs. So that's a good lingo. How about a Baltimore chop? Anybody know what a Baltimore chop is? What do you got?
Third baseman's hit.
It's a high hopper that either hits in front of them, it hits on the plate, or in front of the plate and bounces over an infielder's head. Called the Baltimore chop, and I would guess that that was made famous in some playoff game back in the old days when Baltimore was playing. So, and then a pretty easy one. What about a twin killing? Double play. Did anybody learn anything today? You know, some other things that are going on with the coaching staff is, you know, we're dealing with the anxiety of future rosters, who's going to sign in the draft. Our players here, we kind of have a good idea, but more about the kids we have to sign, who's going to sign. So many NCAA rules now on roster limit, only so many kids will get part of the baseball scholarship, and then 8 more can be on your roster. And, you know, trying to do kids right, and just get the roster correct. You know, there's some kids that probably want to come, that we've told them they could come, and we're telling them that you can't because that guy's not going to sign. It's fine. I'll just tell you that. But that's kind of what we're doing right now. We just get through the end of the season, see who's going to sign, and try to figure it out so we can be good again in 19. And because, you know, one move here or a couple there can make a huge difference. You know, as I stand up here right now, what if we had one more big-time starter? Or what if we had one more infielder or power hitting guy that could play on that corner, right? And, you know, these are the things that you have to try to figure out and do it right. And it's a tough part of our job. So, again, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you guys coming. The support's been unbelievable. The fans have been great. Players have responded and played great at home. I'm thinking that whatever happens, we need about 5,000 of you to go help us out so we can play good on the road. I don't know. So, we're working on that. Who knows? Maybe we'll kick it into gear, Georgia, and then never look back. So, again, thank you for the attention, guys.